All right, to start my flower, we are gonna be using a square piece of paper, and I have my name written on the bottom. I'm using a Sharpie again, so you can see it easy in the video, but you should be using a pencil for this. Okay, so to start, I like to make mine nice and round, so I trace a container. If you don't wanna do it that way, that is completely fine, but that's how I'm going to do it in the video. Okay, so I'm gonna make kind of like almost like a half circle. Okay, when I trace a container, I put the opening down, right? Otherwise it's a beveled edge and it's hard to make that line. Now, you can do your petals however you want. You can make them come really far over. You can make them rounded or pointy. I mean, really, there's no right or wrong. I'm just gonna say maybe don't make them so little that when you try and color them in with oil pastel, it's tricky to do. So I might draw mine maybe like this. Okay, then I'm gonna do another one. Maybe another one. Okay, then in between here, I might even add some more petals. Okay, and that's kind of as basic as I'm starting my flower. You're really gonna add all the detail in when you start mixing your oil pastels. Hi you guys, I am going to talk to you about how we are going to add the color to our flower. So once these get passed back, you are going to be able to go to the back table under the rainbow, and you may take 3 oil pastels at a time. You can use as many colors as you want on here, but you are starting with just 3 at a time. So you're gonna get your paper passed out, you're gonna get your messy mat, you're gonna get 3 oil pastels, and you are going to choose, I would recommend choosing colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So I am using orange and I am using yellow. Colors next to each other on the color wheel are going to mix really nicely, whereas colors like orange and blue that are not next to each other on the color wheel won't. So you can look at the rainbow, that's the same order as the color wheel. Okay, but to start, I am going to take my orange, my darker of the 2 colors, okay, and I am going to kind of color on these lines. If this is not how you want to do it, go for it, do what you'd like, okay? This is just my technique that I use when I use oil pastels. So I make this part maybe a little bit thicker. Okay, and I would do the same on every petal. So I kind of am outlining those lines I drew with my darker of the 2 colors and maybe just adding a little extra to kind of blend around. So I do the whole thing. Then I'm taking my lighter color, and when I use oil pastels, I don't blend with my fingers. I use my oil pastel as the blending tool. Okay, but I can take this and color, whoops, that's how strong I am, okay? But I'm gonna color right on top of what I had just put down, and it's gonna start to kind of mix for me. If I wanted to mix even more than this, I can take some orange and I can go back over it and add a little bit more orange to it. So I can just show you if I wanna add a little bit more orange, I can just kind of lightly layer this up. Okay, another technique is to take a white. Okay, and when your white gets dirty like this, the best thing to do is you can either go on the back of your paper and you can kind of drag it around to get it nice and clean, or you can take a paper towel and wash it or wipe it off. Not wash it, a dry paper towel. Okay, but I just kind of flip my paper over and color on the back to get all the color off of here so it's nice and white and not leaving blue all over. Okay, but then I can take this white and I can color right on top, and it's really gonna mix it together. When I color, I'm coloring the direction I drew my petals, so I'm kind of going up the tall way, not like from left to right like this. Okay, so there's one petal. I can do the same on this one, right? Color it in. Okay, I can use my orange to blend it. If you like to use your finger, you can do that as well. I just don't like to do that. Okay, you can add a little more this way. Okay, and so on, yada, yada. All right, after you've done that, you are gonna choose a color or colors to do the center of your sunflower or your daisy or your poppy or whatever kind of flower you chose to draw. I'm demonstrating it as if this were a sunflower. Okay, so typically it's like an orange or a yellow or a brown inside of a sunflower. So I start by just drawing little circles, like I'm drawing like the cursive letter E all over the place, okay? And I would fill that whole thing in. Then I take a brown and I go right on top and I draw some more. And this gives it a really nice texture. Remember, texture is how something looks or feels. I can keep layering over this. If I want it even darker, I could put black on there. I could put blue. I could do whatever I want inside of here. But this is how I just kind of represent those sunflower seeds. And obviously fill in the whole thing. Okay? Then the very last thing I like to do, since we learned about Vincent van Gogh with this project, I like to make it like the Starry Night by adding in the curved lines that Vincent van Gogh added. To do that, I use cool colors, green, blue, and purple. There is a Sweet Martha cookie bucket on the back table, but under the rainbow, that has just cool colors in it you can use, or you can do whatever you'd like. But I start by adding some spirals. Okay, maybe I'll do another one here. Maybe I'll put one here. Okay, and then I like to add some lines around my spirals, maybe even lines within my lines. Okay, to add just another element, I can kind of go like this. When I do this background, I want it to be bold and I want it to stand out. So I draw a lot of lines and I put them close together. Okay, there's really no right or wrong, but I like to kind of just layer up these cool colors. I'm kind of doing it with a purpose, so I'm not just like drawing all these wiggles everywhere. I'm kind of trying to make it look like some sort of movement, or like on his, how it's like the shining stars of the Starry Night. Okay, so there's no right or wrong, but this is just how I added mine. If you want to, I don't know, put pink polka dots in your background, go for it. You can do this however you choose. Okay, but you do need to add something to your background to fill in that space. You need to finish your flower. You need to do the center of your flower. Your name should be on the bottom. When you get all of that done, you are going to put it into your class folder. You're going to put the oil pastels back where they go, okay? And you are going to free draw if you get all the way finished. All right.